attachment lesson this week, and this is a bit of an introduction to animal research. On the spec for attachment are animal studies of attachment. So I'm just going to introduce the area of this, and I want you to start off by just thinking. Obviously, when you look at some of these images, you're probably going to think of ethics straight away. But think about the type of animal research that's done in the UK and the benefits of it and why we might do it. And whilst a lot of the time, excuse me, we look at research into animals and think that it's not going to have any benefits, I want you to try to think about why we might use animals and what might be some of the reasons that we use them in preference to humans. So as this is just a bit of an introduction, again, I want you to just have a look at this and think about the type of animals that are used in research. And I thought that this was quite important when introducing this topic, because in particular, I want you to have a look at the type of animals that are allowed to be used. So the purple. So for example, rats, mice and other rodents that are all purposely bred to be tested upon. And whilst we obviously don't like that, that is one of the facts that happens. Have a look at the red bar in particular, primates, different types of monkeys and so on. And then underneath it says chimps, gorillas and orangutans have not been used in medical research for over 25 years. So really, when we're looking at any research into psychology, provided that it's using rats, mice, it's okay to an extent. But have a look, if it's using anything else, it's generally seen as not being appropriate anymore or acceptable, and it really shouldn't be carried out. So I just want you to think about that, particularly when we're looking at this research that comes up here. So again, it's very important that some species are used, particularly when it's life-saving treatments, and in those cases certain breeds will be used. But again, I want you to think, when we're looking at these studies, about the importance of a bit of a cost-benefit analysis. Think about whether we've learnt enough from the study to justify carrying out the research. So today we're going to explore animal studies of attachment. I'm just going to introduce them today and carry on with them next week. This is a clip, a Tom and Jerry clip that I would like you to watch. If for some reason it doesn't work, and I have uploaded this video, just search on That's My Mommy Tom and Jerry episode and just watch the start of it. And when you've watched that, I want you to have a think about what it's actually showing. So we've got the third bullet point there, animal studies of attachment, and it actually names two, Lorenz and Harlow. So this lesson, I'm largely just going to be getting you to go and have a look at those studies, and then I'll pick them up next week. I don't want to do a video of a video. So first of all, will you have a look at the study of attachment by Konrad Lorenz, and there's a picture of him there. In 1935, one of the earlier studies, I want you to look at what he did and what he found. And he actually looked at something called imprinting. I'd like you to find out what that is. And if you watch the Tom and Jerry video, it will actually show you what it is. I want you to look at what the long-lasting effects are. The supporting research, you're probably not going to find much of, but that's okay. But what are the criticisms of this view? And in particular, when you're looking at that, think about it in terms of with humans, because imprinting is something that's unique to certain species. And then think about the ethical issues. So this is introducing the research by Konrad Lorenz, and he was an ethologist, and this is the study, objective and scientific study of animal behaviour, and it's usually focused in a natural environment, and it's focused on the idea that we're looking at behaviours because they are an evolutionary adaptive trait. That means it's useful. So adaptive in evolutionary terms means useful, and we're going to be exploring evolutionary theory through this unit. So have a look at the research by Konrad Lorenz, and here he is, and you can see, you can probably get an idea about what he did just from looking at this. Have a look at that, and it's on imprinting. So that's the first piece of research. You need to have a look at what he did and what he found. And then you need to move on to the second piece of research, and this is Harry Harlow, and he looked at monkeys. And again, when we think, obviously I've said monkeys straight away, so you should think back about that first slide. So again, I'd like you to think about and look at what he did. Who did he use? What did he find? What were the long-lasting effects? Were there any confounding variables? Any ethical issues? Now, obviously, you're going to see a lot of ethical issues, in particular with this study as opposed to the other. Think about the research method that was used. Think about whether they're in a natural environment or not. And then think about the issues of generalizing animal studies to humans. And that's where you can kind of look at Lorenz and think about how useful that is compared to the study by Harlow. And this is the study by Harlow, and there he is with one of his monkeys. And obviously you can see already that it is lab-based and quite artificial. So there's a clip there. If you search on Harry Harlow on the internet and look at the studies of his monkeys, a little bit of an overview there about what he looked at. When you've done that, we'll be carrying on with this next week, and I'll come back to these sheets next week. But this is what you're working towards, really. You're working towards being able to describe and evaluate both studies of attachment. So that's just a very, both studies of, animal studies of attachment. This is a part, really, where I need to go through the videos. So I'd like you to watch those, and then if you've got any questions on those two studies, please get back to me. Thank you.